Happy Saturday, beautiful people, and welcome to the R&D show. I'm your host, Shad, and to come in here and get y'all video going. You know what I'm talking about? Hopefully, everybody is having an amazing Saturday. It's a beautiful day out here in ATL Jolly. You know what I'm talking about, Shawty? But yeah, I want to jump in and talk about my boy Usher, Usher Raymond. Usher, who has been Mr. USHERRAYMOND. No, tell me what you want to do with me. That Usher, yeah. But yeah, Usher, who has been in the game for 30 years now, right? And Usher was set to kick off his past, present, and future tour here in Atlanta on Wednesday. So he was set to kick off the tour. This was going to be opening night. I was actually going to be attending opening night to see Usher. And hours before, he canceled the show and postponed it and left a message on social media, is just basically saying, he has sustained, and well, basically he was saying that he needs his body to rest. Like his body just needs to rest. He had been rehearsing and rehearsing, and he just, clearly, his body was just giving out on him, right? And he was advised to just, he needs to let his body rest. So that was Wednesday, and he was supposed to also be here Friday and Saturday. So yesterday and today. Um, so then on Thursday he came back and posted and said that he's going to cancel Friday and Saturday. He was advised by his doctors that he's in no condition to perform right now. He wants to put on the best show that he can, and currently he's not able to do that due to a neck injury that he sustained. So he didn't want to give away too much in his first post, clearly, when he first postponed Wednesday's show. So he's like, you know, hopefully, I'll get this rest and I'll be able to bounce back. And then he comes back on Thursday and he's like, well, it's actually a neck injury. So he went into detail. Now, mind you, on Wednesday when he posts, there were some conflicted feelings. Some people were upset because they had paid, money for plane ticket and to be here. Hotel, outfit. Some people have planned their birthday festivities around this concert. Um, girls trip, boys trips, whatever the case may be. And so they were already here in Atlanta. And so they were very upset about the situation, which I can understand. You know what I mean? Like you plan to be in a space and to celebrate and to be a part of something so big, and you invest a lot of money into it as well. So I can understand being upset. But on the flip side of that, things happen, life happens, life be lifing, and we can't always control the outcome of what that looks like. And so for him, it was unfortunate. It's not something that was planned. Clearly, it happened, and he had to do what was best for him to protect not only himself but his tour in general. Because if he was to go out there and do this performance, he can further damage whatever is going on, whatever the injury is. And you got to remember, like Usher is now a man of a particular age, and he's been in the game since he was 13, 14 years old. So, yeah, I can understand. When I thought about, deeper into the situation, I thought about what Beyonce said Fatima Robinson, who's a choreographer, told her. Fatima Robinson, because, we're so used to our superstars, Usher and Beyonce, going full out, giving 110%, and this expectation because it's the standard that has been set by them. But when you've been doing that for such a long time, at some point you have to be careful because it becomes wear and tear on your body. Like as you get older, your body changes, your bones change, your muscles change. And so you have to find a way to give your body a whole lot of grace and find a healthy balance. And so Fatima Robinson told Beyonce, you have nothing to prove. Like, there's no reason for you. If you want to continue doing this for another 10, 20, 30 years, you can't be going full out dancing hard. You have nothing to, you have been there, you have done that. At this point, this era of your life and your touring, life should be more of a softer. Like, yes, you can go and you can do some choreography, but there's no reason for you to dance full out every single song when you have dancers. Right now you just do what you can do in the entertainment aspect of your concert, of your touring, but your voice, you know what I mean? Like, people are coming to hear you sing. Yes, we want to see you dance as well, but you've done that. You've had those chapters in your life. And again, you have nothing to prove. And I love that she said that because it's so true. And I know we can get caught up in having this expectation of looking at a 20 something year old Usher and comparing him to a 44-year-old Usher. And it's not the same. 20-year-old Usher, 30-year-old Usher is different from 40-year-old Usher because the body has changed. You have danced, you have danced, you have worked out, you have conditioned, you have done certain things. And so that's wear and tear on your body. And, Usher likes to do a whole lot of, maybe he's doing a handstand or just different stuff that does involve his, his neck and movement of his neck. And he should also be told that you're a legend, you're an icon, you're timeless, but you're also precious to us. And so we don't want you to burn out. We want you to preserve yourself. We know what you're capable of doing it because you've been doing it. You don't have anything to prove. You know, you can take it easy. This is why you have dancers and things of that nature. And every now and then you bust a move, but there's no need for you to go 1,000% every single night because it's not good for your body at this point in your life. 20-year-old Usher, yes, you can do all that. 30-year-old Usher, yes, but this is Usher in his 40s. And if you want to continue touring or doing residencies and giving great shows 10, 20, 30 years from now, you have to protect your body and find your balance, a healthy balance. And I think that's so important that we give our artists this grace in realizing that they've given us so much for all of these years that our expectation of them should no longer be, oh, you got to give 1,000%. Like, I need to see them do every single thing that they've been doing all these years. You can't even do every single thing that you was doing all these years at this point in your life because your body has changed. And so we can't have that same expectation just because they're celebrities. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fair. They're still human beings. They're not machines. So we have to be very careful of expecting that from them and just go and celebrate them at this point. Because now it's just a celebration. It's a celebration that we still have these legends that are making music, that are touring, that are still, A1 celebrities. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Like, they're not burned out, they're not has been, they're not, washed away in things of the past. Like, they're still very much so current. And they are the trailblazers and the trendsetters, and they are the teachers at this point, because at another point, they were students and somebody else was the teacher, but now they are the teachers and they're able to pass the baton to other artists underneath them. And so to Usher, I'll say, take your time, big bro. You don't have nothing to prove. You are a legend. You're amazing at what you do. If any of us have got to experience you on 8701 tour, My Way tour, the OMG tour, um, your residency, confession, whatever the case may be, we know who you are, what you are, and how you are. And you have nothing to prove. Right now we just want to come and celebrate your legacy on this tour. Celebrate those amazing hit records and those songs that take us back to those times. And we can remember the time and the place and how we felt and what we felt and how we felt about that certain, somebody, or what we was doing and we shouldn't have been doing, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is the excitement that we get when we get to reminisce and go on this journey with these artists that we grew up loving, and these artists that have inspired us, or these artists that we looked up to. whatever the case may be. But segueing off of that, I want to go into Tank. So Tank basically, you know, he did a live, or he was on somebody's podcast, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But he basically was comparing Michael Jackson and Chris Brown and saying that Chris Brown has surpassed Michael Jackson and he is the biggest artist in the world. Whatever he was saying, which was just, it's interesting that he would do that because he's in the music industry. One, two, he's a black man who knows how tough at times it can be to stay relevant in the music industry and to make a name for yourself and a lane for yourself in the industry and to still just be loved throughout these years and the pressure and things of that nature. And three, it's just not a good look that someone of his status, of his celebrity, encourages this behavior of pitting our artists against each other and comparing and contrasting instead of allowing them to be great in their own lane, to be great in the space that they've created. It's something that just kind of grinds my gears because I don't know what, the white culture does with their artists, but I know black culture is quick to pick apart our artists and pit them against each other and tear them down if we don't like them, if we think one is better than the other, and then cause all of this confusion, which then eventually causes this beef. And it really trickles down from the fan base. It's not even the artists per se, because they sometimes don't even know each other on that level, but they read the things that these fans have to say and they kind of feed into it. And so I'm a little disappointed that one, that Tank would think that that's okay. Now, if this is your table talk and that's how you feel, fine, but that's okay to put that energy out there. And speaking of that, I also would never agree with pitting Usher and Chris Brown against each other and saying one is better than the other, or, you know, it's just a lot that I have heard. And I'll always have to remind myself and remind other people as well that if it wasn't for Michael Jackson, there wouldn't be an Usher. And if it wasn't for Usher, there wouldn't be a Chris Brown. And if it wasn't for Michael Jackson, there wouldn't be a Usher or Chris Brown. And so then when Chris passes the baton, it's going to be, if it wasn't for Chris Brown, there wouldn't be a so and so. You know what I mean? Because it's a race that just supposed to keep the marathon continues, put it that way. And you're just passing the baton in this marathon. And so Usher was a student and Michael Jackson was the teacher. And then Usher became the teacher and Chris Brown was the student. And now Chris Brown is the teacher and someone else will be the student. One is not like the other. They have bits and pieces of each other because they've studied each other and things of that nature. Like, or should I say, Michael Usher and Chris Brown have studied Michael Jackson, and Chris Brown has studied Usher and Michael Jackson. And that's how it's supposed to be, because you look up to these artists and you think that they're so amazing and you like, I want a little bit of what they have. I want to be a little bit of who they are, because I'm inspired, and just package that into my artistry. And I see nothing wrong with that. But the problem is black culture just tears these artists apart and they feed on the negativity of pitting them against each other instead of being able to just celebrate how amazing these artists are and celebrate that we still have these artists and we're still able to connect with them and go and see them on tour and listen to their music and just celebrate their artistry in general. Usher came out in the early 90s. Chris Brown came out in the early 2000s. That's almost a decade later, or pretty much a decade later, when Chris Brown, was first presented to the world. So they're not even the same. They're not even in the same decade or the same era. When Usher came out, it was Usher, it was Tyrese, Justin Timberlake, um, and there were some other artists. And then with Chris Brown, you have Chris Brown, you have Omarion, you have Mario. So the point that I'm making is, if there was a competition per se, which I don't agree with any type of competition, you got to keep them in their era. You don't want to cross eras and be like, oh, Chris Brown's better than Michael Jackson, Usher's better than Michael Jackson, Chris Brown's better than Usher, Usher's better than Chris Brown, so on and so forth, because it just doesn't work that way. It's different eras, it's a different time, it's a different type of music, a different type of artistry, a different type of entertainment, a different type of feeling, a different type of experience. And we should be able to celebrate these experiences and, just have positivity and not make things so negative. It doesn't have to be negative. It can be a celebration of the music, of the artist, of the time. And that's it. We don't need to start a war of who's better than who, when it should just be a celebration of, like, I love the fact that we have these Black artists that are thriving, that are able to set some type of example. I don't know. Maybe I just live in this bubble of wanting everybody to be at peace and to just always have good energy and great things to say about each other. But it's weird. And I think that we're too grown for that behavior, because it's literally grown-ups that are creating this narrative, and it spreads like wildfire all throughout social media, and then it travels onto radio, and then it travels onto TV and things of that nature, and it takes on a life of its own. But at some point we just got to nip it in the butt and just be like, what are we doing? What are we doing to our artists? Like, why are we creating all of this negativity and this beef that is manufactured? Like, what are we doing? I just feel like we have to stop. We need to stop, and we need to get into this space of just love and light, peace and joy and happiness and celebration, because that's what music is. Music is a universal language of celebration, and it makes you just feel good. If we're able to do that, that's just a part of making the world a better place. Just a small piece of making the world a better place. We got a lot of work to do, but always seeing the bickering and the fussing and the fighting and the picking apart, it's weird, it's cringeworthy, and it has to stop. I feel like it just needs to stop. So I'm gonna say, Michael Jackson is the greatest of all time, Usher is the greatest of all time, and Chris Brown is the greatest of all time. You know, they would be on my Mount Rushmore of the greatest of all time. And there's two more spaces, two more male spaces. This is my male Mount Rushmore. Now, if I mixed it up, you got Michael Jackson, the greatest of all time, Beyonce, the greatest of all time, Usher, the greatest of all time, Chris Brown, the greatest of all time. And there's one more space. And this is based off of being able to fully entertain, you know, like fully be able to dance and sing at the same time and give a live show, because everybody's not able. Some people are great with vocals and some people are better at just dancing. But if you're able to do both live, not curated in the studio and it's all lip sync all of the time, but you're really a powerhouse and a machine of an artist, that takes a lot of work, that takes a lot of time, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of passion. And Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Usher, Chris Brown are prime examples of what that looks like. So again, my Mount Rushmore of entertainment, of the Black culture when it comes to being, if you want to call it a triple threat, because they can sing live, they dance, and their tours are just one. It's kind of like you don't want to miss it. It's like one of those one in a lifetime experiences. Like, dang, you didn't get to experience a Michael Jackson tour. Oh, you never got to experience a Beyonce tour. Wait, you never experienced a Usher tour. Oh, you never experienced Chris Brown either. Like, you have missed out on like the goats of touring. And so those are my Mount Rushmore um artists in our culture. And there's one more spot, and I just have to ponder and think about who that is when it comes to being able to, do the things that I just mentioned. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Drop down in the comments. Let me know how you feel about anything that I may have said. You can agree, you can disagree. I don't know. Holla at your boy. But I wanted to just give y'all a video and pop in. Hopefully everybody is feeling good, feeling great. Blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to comment. Be sure to like this video, share this video, and keep enjoying the rest of your day. Be awesome, be great, be who you are. All right. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other. Shot is out. Peace.